Hello my lovelies, so I'm Lizzie from Love from Lizzie, and today I was supposed to be doing a live with Lizzie. However, our internet had different ideas, so I am now creating the video that we had planned as a pre-record, which we're going to be sharing with you right now, and we will be sitting there in the comments watching along with you live. So we're going to flip straight down, we're going to excuse all the prelim, and we're going to get straight into making this fun fold. So as suggested at the beginning, if you can have a trimmer, bone folder, piece of cardstock and a piece of 6x6 patterned paper, this is what you're going to need for this. Now, if you don't have a trimmer, it's not to worry, but I would suggest you get a metal edged ruler and a cutting knife, like an X-Acto knife or something similar to that. One of these little jobbies will do the trick. So what we need to do is cut our piece of cardstock at 5.5. So we're going to push that up to 5.5 inches on the ruler and going to cut that down the middle. Now we're going to flip that round and move it to 8 inches. So as you can see there, we go to 8. Turn it round and snip that off there. Now this little piece here is waste. You don't need that. So we've now got 5.5 by 8. At this point, we're going to start doing some scoring. So you need your bone folder. Now you can move across to a scoreboard if you prefer. I'm going to carry on using the trimmer because we do need to do some more cutting. So the first score that we're going to do is at 2 inches. So put your long edge into your trimmer or your scoreboard, and at 2 inches, score from top to bottom so that you get a really nice deep impression, top to bottom. And then we're going to flip that other way around and do 2 inches again. So almost all of this, whatever you do to the left, you also do to the right. We have to make it all balanced and fair. So we've got 2 edges now that have got a 2-inch score either side. At this point, we're going to flip again. So we've got the short edge in the top and we're going to do some cutting. So we're going to move our cardstock edge to 1.25 inch. Now, when you've got that held in place, bring your cutter so that this line here is in line with your embossed edge. So that when you close that, you're going to be pushing the blade in between this embossed line and this. This is where we drag, we stop here. So from one embossed line to the next, and we stop and then we lift. This is why one of these trimmers is so handy rather than a guillotine. If you don't have one of these trimmers, get your pencil and your ruler and measure in 1.25 inch, do a little mark, 1.25 inch, do a little mark, line your metal ruler up and slice just between those 2 embossed lines. So because we did it to the left, we're going to do it to the right, 1.25 inch, and then we're going to close that and we're going to slice in between the 2 embossed lines so that when we move it out, we have something that we can poke our hands in. Okay? Right, from this point, we're going to spin again. And we're going to score at this point, at 3 inches. So you slide it over to 3-inch measurement on your scoreboard or on your trimmer. Now we're only going to score this centerpiece in between the 2 cut lines, and you sort of have to wiggle your bone folder around and you will find the ridge, and then just score only that middle piece. And then because we did it to the left, we're going to do it to the right. Flip it round to 3 inches, finds that gully, and then go up and down just on that middle piece that's been cut. So that now it's easier to show the ridges. It should look like this in the middle, but the outer edges haven't got anything. Now, we're going to move the whole piece across to 4 inches for the final scores. Now this is for the top and the bottom. So you can see, thankfully, you can guide that in from the edge just to that middle panel, and then we'll do the same here from the edge up to that middle panel. Now this is all of our scoring and cutting for the base, thankfully achieved. So I'll pull you in on the close-up in the hope that we'll be able to show you what your base will look like. So all cut out. You have 2 score lines that go from top to bottom either side. You have a little diddy score line in the middle of the card base, but not through the centerpiece. And then the centerpiece has got 2 score lines equidistant between those edges. Now, I'm going to flip it back over and we're going to start doing some folding. I'm going to fold those outer edges in, give them a burnish, both sides. And now we're going to do some pinching. So I'm just using my middle finger to push behind that score line there, just to pinch that into place. And I'm doing the same on this side. And now I'm going to sort of tuck my hand in to pull this piece up, and I'm going to use my middle finger behind that crease again and give it a bit of a pinch, and then do the same on the other side. Just sort of fold it around my fingers, and now every score line has actually been creased. So we can sort of sandwich this over and give it a burnish. And then we can sandwich it back the other way and burnish. And then we can fold this side down and do the same. And now we've got some really lovely crisp score lines, haven't we? It's all, everything is as it should be. So we now have, and you can put this in the envelope like this if you want to. But you have your sort of your greeting on the front. And with some people, unless they're card makers, they may not know how to handle a fun fold. So what you can do is put it in the post like this. It's up to you. Anyhow, let's do some decorating. So 1 sheet of 6 by 6 paper. And we are going to chop this at 1 7/8 3 times. Now you can, of course, use multiple pattern papers, which was what I did in my example, which I'll show you again because you haven't seen it in this video, have you? So this was the example that I made using the To the Beach collection. I used 2 different papers, but we're going to do it all with 1, just so that it's super clear. But I left the back blank. And then this way, look, see, when we fold it, it can go in the envelope like this. But then when it stands up, so, right, 1 7/8, that's the numbers that we want here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we don't need this bit. And now this final one, I am going to cut at 1 1/8 4 times. Of course, the line for the 1/8 is right underneath the edge of my finger guide, so it's not particularly easy to see, but I think we get in there. 2, 3, so this is the 4th. I'm just going to snip that there. Now this piece we don't need, but these 4 are important, so they can go up there. These ones need to be trimmed down to 5 3/8. So I need just that longer the longer arm to do the measuring. So 5 3/8 sit there. So this is a bit of rubbish, and then 5 3/8 is right here. There we go. Rubbish. So let's get to decorating. We've got all of our pieces of paper now snipped. Going to just use some tape runner for speed. Oh, that was a squeaky one. Okay. Oh. Now these pieces stick either side. Like that, one there. And then one here. And now we have these 4 pieces, which we're going to pop some tape on. Okay, I'll flatten this down, just makes it a bit easier for me. And then I'm going to place one of each of these little tiles in one of the gaps. So once you know where you're doing your cutting and your scoring, these come together so quickly. So if you're wanting to do your holiday cards as a fun fold card, you know, wow your recipients, this is a really good design to use for mass production because they are so quick. Now, to that effect, I'm actually, the one that we started in our live, I'm just going to assemble that as well so that we get 2 and you get to see how quick and easy. So I had just chopped this all up, but our internet had decided different. So I'm just going to pop these in, flip it around. And of course you can mass cut, can't you? Oh, that's the end of that one. Fear not, she has a spare. Just saw Liam readying himself to go run then. It's a good lad. Right, now my 4 pieces to the back. Just going to, oh, this runner is much less squeaky and irritated. Okay, so I'm going to lay it down flat, pop in these little panels. This apricot coloured cardstock works so nicely with the patterned paper in this kit. Because the kit's it's got a really nice vintage feel to it, I didn't want to put it straight onto white. So I'm really pleased with how, there we go. So now, as you can see, we have got 2 of these lovely cards. Now, at this point, it's just about the decoration. So let's grab, this is the kit ephemera, and there is tons. But let's just grab you. Now, when it comes to choosing what you're going to put on your centre pop out, you can have it hanging out this way, but don't have it hanging out this way. If it's hanging out the top way, you run the risk of it not closing properly, or you force the recipient as to which way to close it and it might not stand very nicely. So, but if you want to hang out on either side, there's nothing obscuring it. So if we do that, and this is my 25th of December die, and I just got a nice little piece of gold mirror here. Have I got any tape? I do. Lovely. Let's pop that through our die cut machine nice and quick. Oh dear, that didn't stick at all, did it? So that goes there, that goes there. Let's move some of these across so we don't damage. pop out our little die cut, if it will come. It's hanging on somewhat. Perhaps should have pushed that back through twice, but I'm quite sure that I have some tiny snips here. There we go. Okay, that was all that bit wanted. You're going to pop out nicely. You are as well. I think the snips may have been a little bit premature. I think everything just needed a moment. Just wanted to have a moment to be ready to release. So, we all need that sometimes, don't we? Okay, I'm just going to pop one of the blades through here. There we go. Now, let's lose the die cut machine. Okay, I'm going to pop some glue. Just want some little dabs here. Going to be really little dabs if the glue's clogged, aren't they? Where's my glue pen? Here we go. This is exactly why I desperately wanted to have such a handy dandy little glue pen, so it can get into all of these awkward tiny areas that otherwise would want to run away. Okay, and so now pop 25th of December straight on there. I am in fact, no, I am going to mount this flush. Okay, I'm going to lay it off to the side. Once I've decided where it goes, eyeball it to be the middle and then push it down. And now, as you can see, ta-da! How cute is that? I had it all worked out. It was just the internet that didn't want to play ball with me. So yeah, there is the really cute 25th of December card. And then you can write your greeting on the back. Alternatively, you can use the measurements that I gave for this just to chop out a couple of extra panels to write your greeting on. You can leave the back, or you know, this is the sort of place where you could hide a little bit of Christmas money perhaps or something. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I think it's a really pretty, very simple, very straightforward, but very, very pretty fun fold that isn't difficult at all. Now this is screaming for just a small Happy Holidays stamp at the bottom there. Alternatively, of course, you could use your ephemera along the sides. Let's see what we have here. The ephemera in this kit is really lovely and large. But you see, it wouldn't take much to be able to decorate the edges. Because as you also know, this card base is only 4 inches. So if you had your ephemera hanging off of the edge, even if it was only slightly, of course, it would still fit into a standard A2 size envelope. So that would be fun as well. But anyhow, I think you get the idea. These are really pretty, really cheery options. I mean, gosh, we could be here all day interchanging the lovely pieces of ephemera. But yes, this is the pop-up, the front pop-up fun fold. And we could decorate with peel-offs. In fact, let's stick this one in. I'm going to commit. I really like the look of that one. Here we go. So, really pretty, really simple, really easy, fun fold cards. And there we go, all nice and flat as well. Right, everybody, thank you very much for sticking with me on this attempt. I do apologise again for our internet, and we are in a process of changing that. We will be back again next Tuesday with another live at 11 AM, hopefully under better circumstances. We also have got our Wicked Witches weekend retreat. It's a virtual retreat. We have now announced all 4 of our guest designers, which I'm really excited about because they're all lovely and the cards they've made are gorgeous. So we are shipping those kits this week. We do have some limited spaces left, but we will be closing registration by the end of this week. So if you were thinking about it, I really strongly recommend you jump on because it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to make 20 cards. You've got 2 full stamp sets, 2 full coordinating die sets, not to mention papers, ephemera, gems. Like, it goes on and everything's fully kitted. So you just sit and you play for 2 days. And here are some of the ideas of the ephemera pieces and the papers that we're going to be playing with. It is so much fun and I can't wait.